Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Myst 2020. There's been some exciting developments in the world of Myst in the year and a half or 2 years since I posted these. The first major change is that Rime 2024 has been released. I've got a Let's Play of that sitting on my hard drive trying to edit down, deciding if I'm going to try to fix the issues in editing or if I'm going to try to do it if I need to sit down and re-record that. But the reason I'm in Myst right now is because a update was dropped and it allegedly contains Rime, which was originally built for the real Myst remake of this thing, and was not included in the 2024 or 2020 release of the game. And I'm not even sure that it downloaded correctly and installed, but because I'm not seeing the way to get there from real Myst. There was a door here, and there was the journal for Rime laying on the library floor. Oh, there it is. My friend, now that you have seen the destruction wrought by Cirrus and Akinar, you no doubt have a very specific idea of who they were. Greedy, envious, hateful men. But there's one more page to turn, one last age, where I hope you might see them as I did, as my sons. Atris. Okay. Rime, Volume 1. And there's a journal. Goody. Rime, I have named it. A desolate age with a beauty that is quite different than I had expected or imagined. The intricate feathers of ice that fall from the sky are awe-inspiring. I feel as though I could sit and watch them for hours. And though it is cold here, like I have never experienced before, I find myself enjoying the change of temperature, for it is unlike any other place that I've ever seen. Perhaps the oddest thing is the silence. Although the wind blows on occasion, when it ceases, there is a suffocating silence that falls on this place, broken only by the distant cries of unseen creatures. I have visited 3 times, and am sure now that this age will provide the environment I need. I believe the cold temperature is crucial for obtaining the necessary refraction of light. Examining the structure of the books is ever more perplexing, but I am driven onward by my need to understand. The great tree of possibilities can never be fully grasped, but I must at least try to find one particular branch. Of course, the chance of using a blank linking book to find one specific age amongst the infinite variations that must exist is infinitesimal, like searching for a specific grain of sand on the beach. The only workable solution is to focus the connection of a damaged, unusable linking book. Perhaps I can bridge this much smaller gap. On the subject of enlightenment, I would also like to find the cause of the mysterious lights that shine in the darkness here. Though I never assumed that I would be able to build especially fast here, the speed at which I am progressing is somewhat disappointing. I do think I will bring Cirrus and Akinar, as well as some of the machinery from Selenitic. Akinar chose to stay with Catherine, and while Cirrus was unhappy about the prospect of exploring a new age without his brother, he was still excited to come. He had spent the last few days here with me, helping me with the beginning phases of construction. He, too, seems to enjoy the ice and cold weather. He is intrigued with the crystals that we have brought with us. He has been a big help, as have others, and I hope to be able to begin my experiments here soon. Tonight, Cirrus and I found a wondrous spot to view the lights, although it seems they decided to hide from us. After sitting in the cold winds for over 2 hours, we saw nothing. It was rather disappointing. Cirrus will return to Myst tomorrow. He has been a tremendous aid to me, and I am thankful for his willingness to help. He is excited to tell Akinar about his adventures, and it's clear to me how much he has missed his brother's company. The hard part of the construction is over, although I have decided after tonight that I would like to add some kind of observation post. I won't be finished as soon as I'd hoped, although I am fairly certain it will be worth the delay in the long run. I have decided to take a break from the construction now that the tunnel is almost complete. I am quite convinced that with the right refraction, certain properties of the ink can be simulated. When I try to explain my theory to Catherine, she laughs and tells me I am trying to hold infinity in a bottle. She laughs and I laugh. Maybe she's right, but I must try regardless. I came too close to success on Everdunes. Besides, if all that comes from this effort is time spent with my sons, it will have been worthwhile. I am fairly certain now that the temperature indeed does have an effect on the refractive properties of the crystals, but I have realized that temperature alone is not enough. Each crystal responds differently to the lower temperatures. And controlling the particulars is proving challenging. Perhaps focusing on another more attainable goal in the short term will help. I should finish the shaft to my observation post while I have the machinery here. Perhaps tomorrow morning. The lights were beautiful again last night. They had not shown themselves for so long that I had almost forgotten their beauty. Still must find the cause. I'm feeling rather overwhelmed with what remains to be done. I have made no progress on the crystals, the shaft is not finished, nor is the observation post or even the lab. I have not seen Catherine for some time, and I long to spend more time with Akinar and Cirrus. Besides all that, there are far away in the back of my mind the thoughts of my people and our lost city. I dreamt of them again last night. I have seen the city in its worst condition, and still, its beauty overshadowed me. Even now, as I visualize how majestic it must have been before the destruction caused by Viavis and Agaris, it amazes and saddens me. I am certain that Dunny is not dead as my father believed. I am convinced that there must be some who managed to escape the destruction, and even now continue to survive in separate ages. Within me is an urging to take the chance and return to Dunny to find these survivors and properly rebuild our city. However, I can do nothing until I am certain of the fate of my father. If my plan failed, if I missed a single book while attempting to trap him on Riven, then he has been free all along. If that is true, then all that stands between him and the ages I have now written is a link from Dunny to Myst. As much as I wish to return to Dunny, without knowing the fate of my father, I cannot risk reestablishing that link. I must observe my father without reestablishing that link. It has been several years, and there have been many dead ends, but the solution is out there somewhere. I know it, at least I hope. Catherine will have her ideas about all of these things, and I miss her greatly. I will return to Rime later when my mind has cleared. All right. And it's coming back to me. The secret access to Rime has to do with the dimensional imager in the, the forechamber? The antechamber on the dock. And there's a combination lock down here. And there's a put 40 into the control panel. Okay, so I am going to take a screenshot of this. Give me a moment here. And we are going to take a walk to the dock. I knew there was something to do with the pathway to the rocket ship. I had forgotten that you have to dial a combination into the imager, because it has been a few years since I've touched Real Myst. And you'll notice that we've taken the page from the thingy. The boat is already surfaced because I basically restored my game probably from the Let's Play. Come down here to the dimensional imager chamber. And we are going to put number 40 into there, hit the button. It did nothing. But there's a button on the back here. Okay, so we turn that on. And that opens the panel. Okay. So I've not done this in this version of the game here, so I do not know what's happening here. So this is all new. And then we want to turn this up, which is the position it was already in. So let's go up to the path to the rocket ship and see what happens. Yeah, there's a crack in the wall there. Let's try that again, see what happens different if we change the other direction. Let's try that. And again, I don't know how to do this. I am figuring this out on the fly, which I usually don't... Yeah, there we go. Which I usually don't like doing in a Let's Play. Okay, well, it's obvious we have to go down that way, but what's not obvious is how we actually accomplish that. I need to have it open to that both. Okay. It's the end away from the rocket. Alright, so back there once more. And depending on the length of this episode, we may cut one or more of these trips back out. Don't know. The whole thing may be moot if the neighbor's sound system is audible through the system. There we go. That looks like that will align the room properly. One thing I will say about a lot of the controls in these games is that they very much resemble the thing they are interacting with. The controls resemble the thing being controlled. That is something that some real-life interaction designers could learn from. Okay, so there's the combination lock there, and here is a thing. This is apparently different. What this did in real Myst was it opened up a floor of the library. The tunnel continued onto the library. And the combination would raise the book to the floor, center of the floor of the library. So the code here is 2735. Button. And if I was Atris, I would not have my precious linking book hidden in anything that could possibly go anywhere near underwater. But here we go. Let's explore this new Age of Rime. Now, most of the rest of this game has been pretty standard, pretty close to the 1993 version. The update notes that came out suggest that this might be a little bit different than the classic version. So, hey, let's see what happens. And we are in a platform similar to where we linked from, which is always a nice touch. And you'll notice that it is snowing. That is a piece of ice. I may need to pause this and go grab a jacket before too long. Alright. And already we are off the rails from the Rime that I remember. Alright. He talked about lights in the sky. And those are, I believe, a later experiment to try to trigger that on demand. There's something down there. And there's a walkway going down this direction here. And there is a house. And if I remember this correctly, there is a gas pipe around the corner. And if we go in here, we should be able to turn on the gas. Let me see, maybe there's more to this puzzle than there used to be. So I don't know that actually did anything. I would expect more oomph from it if it was actually lit. Is there a valve in here? Nope, just gas pipe. Alright, let's go the other way. Don't remember if the original release of this game let you zoom with the mouse wheel or not. But here is a telescope. We will continue out here. Ooh, there's something down there. I'm going to guess it has to do with the gas valve. So let's close the door. It's already closed. And shut this off. We don't want a gas buildup, so we'll come back. If this was infra, that would definitely ooh, a contraption. Alright, we have gas. I don't think there's any harm in leaving the valve up here open. But, there we go. Now it's nice and toasty in here. And I believe it does affect things if you don't close the door. You'll notice the walls are starting to melt a little bit, and it has drastically changed color. And something under there is glowing. Oh, and there's a ladder to the upper level of this place. This is very different than it was in Real Myst. Through this door is a tunnel with heat. Remember that the Dunny are an underground people. And Atris has been living in Atris would write a home in... Atris grew up in the southwest in the Cleft, which has access to Dunny. And I imagine Tamana from later games is not much further from that. This is not working, so that means there's a puzzle. But let's see. Okay, there's a lever here. I want a ladder like this to my upper space. Alright, another journal. Drawings of some sort of sea monster. A thing on the railing which in infra means it's a place to climb. There's a bed with lots of heavy-duty blankets. Hangers for something, probably to flip the bed and hang it from the wall for more space. And there's another journal. Alright, so... cozy up here. And this appears to be showing movement patterns for the thing. So let's read this journal here and see what's going in. Property of Cirrus. Okay, is the other one Akinar's, or is this another Atris journal? Akinar's journal. Okay. Well, when we come back, we're going to read these two journals, and then we will continue exploring and see if we can find our way through that elevator. So, thanks for watching, and tune in next time for some journals.